Hi, today I am scrapbooking with one of the purchases I made while I wasn't scrapping that I need to get using because my normal policy is to not buy more than I'm using, but I kept having this idea when I was on maternity leave that if I bought some supplies that would make me scrapbook, and it turned out it really didn't have anything to do with how much time I actually got to scrap. So now I feel like I need to use them. So okay, today I'm using two kits from Studio Calico. This 12 by 12 kit, which was called Walden, and some Project Life called Underground. So I think this was November and October, if that makes sense, that I ordered at the same time, and I don't know. The two work together to me, and I have this 8 by 10 photo that's very autumnal with all the leaves in the park, and I love, this was my favorite sheet of paper in the whole kit. So I want to use this as a background and leave enough that you can see the lovely text. And as I've just cut out this one piece of paper here, and I thought that actually if I move everything over to the side, it just feels a lot more organic to me because the photo goes off the edge of the frame, as it were. And I just feel that if I put it in the center, there's something about it that just feels a little bit disjointed. And if I move it all over to the edge so that this just fades off the edge of the page, it seems more balanced to me. So that's where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to add some brown ink to this paler paper. And I was toying with the idea of putting more layers behind this. I'm just going to have a quick look at the other papers in the kit and see if anything screams that that would be correct. And if not, I'll leave it as just one layer. So the other patterns really quickly. This one's a bit too cartoony for that. A lot of blues here. There's that same print but in the reverse color. And those are gray, not particularly amazing for this combination. This one is the right colors, but it's too cutesy to mix in here. Use that somewhere else. And I think these reds are a bit too much red. Maybe this polka dot. I think the plaid is too busy. What about that? And then I'm going to pull in some of this aqua. Okay, I'm going to decide to do that. I'm going to do just a really, really small border of that red polka dot because I don't want the layout to feel too red. So I think in this instance I'll go ahead and stick this to pattern paper here so that I can get that mat as small as I want. And this is going off the edge, so I don't even need a mat on that side at all. I'll just cut this bottom edge. And then I'll start layering it all up on the page. I've pulled out the Project Life kit as well because I just have this mixed thing with the Studio Calico Project Life kits, and indeed quite a few Project Life kits. And I'm sure I'm not the only person. I know there are others of you that feel the same way. Okay, so with Studio Calico Project Life kits, I love the designs, but I don't like rounded corners. It's just that I throw that out there. I really like straight corners. I love how everything looks. And I did one album. I did my maternity album with all the rounded corners to see if the more I used it, would it start to feel right to me? And the answer was no. I like them straight. I don't know. There we go. Sorry if you love the rounded corners. But I really like the designs and just wish they had straight edges. So I don't mind using a rounded corner within a page. So if I stick this on here, which I'm not going to do like this, but just for an example. If I put that there, I'm absolutely fine with that because the corners of the actual page are straight. It's when I use the divided page protectors, having to make everything straight corner or rounded corners doesn't work for me, and I don't like them mixed so that some are straight and some are rounded. And the real reason that I'm not loving it is because I love 4x6 photos with a white border, which means it looks ridiculous if you round the corners. because you get that nice straight and then you lose the white on the corner. Okay, so there you go. That's the end of my little tirade about rounded corners. I love my straight corners, but I love this artwork. So sometimes I look at the kits and I think, oh, maybe I'll find a way to use it. But I think I have 4 of the Studio Calico Project Life kits, and I really need to crack on and use them all up. Let's just say that. Okay, this is stuck. I'm going to keep going. And now you're finding out what happens if I scrapbook without a kind of purpose to my video in mind. You get little random tirades, or opinions, or something, whatever you want to call them. Right, I love this tape, and I just want to figure out where I want to start. I think I'll start here. And I thought, there we go. And I'm going to do a few layers of this down here at the bottom, and quite a fair bit of it will get covered up with some embellishment. Yep, but I like that. I'll tuck this end under. I'm liking how everything is fitting on this side of the page so far. So far, so good. Now, this kit has these lovely little die-cut vellum leaves. There's also some green ones, but I'm going to keep the green for something else and use these lovely ones in the orange. And there are also wood veneer pieces. There are arrows and hearts, and likewise I'm going to keep the hearts on this page and save the arrows for some other time. And there are these stickers from Crate Paper Notes and Things, which I'm going to take right out of there. And get all the packaging off so that I can actually use them. Okay, got them to a point where I can use them. And since I have this all running down to this corner, I feel like I need to build something up here to kind of have this diagonal flow. And I'm going to take these stickers and just start at the top of the page and put them in a little stack. Save this one. I'm not sure where it's going to go. I think I just like 3 there, but I might come back down and put this here. Maybe I need 4. I don't know. I'll wait on that one. And then I have these leaves, which I want to layer in with the leaves of the photo. So I think this one is a good match for the line of that leaf in the picture, so I can just pop that there. And since they're vellum, I'm going to staple them. Just get that into place. To do the staple behind these layers rather than the background to make it easier. And this one, I wanted to use this heart with that leaf. So let's see. Thing is that this one is naturally wanting to go that direction, but doesn't look, then just 2 either side like that, it's not very balanced. Would it look better up here? Perhaps. If I can then fill the middle of that heart with the navy. Yep. So let's find a spot where that's going to work. I think that's it right there. And then adhesive to the back of this heart. I'm going to try this just with normal dot adhesive because that's what I tend to use with wood veneers. Since they're really lightweight, they don't take a heavy-duty adhesive to stick. But I can always come back with a liquid adhesive if this doesn't want to hold. I was thinking maybe I need a staple down here, and I might still decide to put one there, but I think I'm happy for now with two there at the top. Okay, where else do I want to go with this? I know I want to have some journaling that's kind of going to overlap these pieces here. So maybe I need to look at the cards I've pulled out and see if I want to use a journaling card for that. Maybe run a journaling card off the edge of the page. Tuck it underneath the photo here. I think that will work. But this feels a bit too angular to me now that I have this nice neat grid, and this is a bit more soft and organic, and this is a bit too harsh, so I'll hold off for a second. Leaving the journaling box for a second, I decided how I would incorporate these other two Project Life cards so that I can use the designs without needing to have that full 3x4, and that's by cutting them into shapes. So I'm going to use a pink circle die to get that leaf in the middle of the blue circle, and then with this one that says a quintessential autumn moment, it fits just inside this label punch. Which apparently I'm not punching properly. There we go. And that scared me to bits for a moment there because on the other side, the lines run in the other direction. Oh, small heart attack. Not a problem now. Okay, and then I'm going to die cut this one so that now I will have committed to having these pieces smaller, for better for worse, and then see if that helps me put it all together. Instead of using that regimented journaling card, I'm going to go with something a bit softer and cut some watercolor paper to fit here. Not hugely worried about it being perfect because I'm going to cover up the edges. And then I'm going to use the stamp set to do just a bit of really soft stamping, and then I'm going to do my journaling over the top of that. So this is the stamp that says hello, and then I'm also going to use some leaves, I think, with some brown chalk ink. And I'll go ahead and stamp the leaves while I'm here. Actually, I think I was going to add more leaves, but I think I'll just leave it like that. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of color using some distress ink. So, just a bit of water on my paintbrush, and it looks like I won't even need to add more color because I still had enough orange on the brush. So just painting in the gaps in the letters and the leaves. And then I'm going to dry that and add my journaling with these other elements to frame it all. This looks quite messy at this point, but it's feeling a lot more organic to me than the ledger, so I think I'll be happy with that in the end. I'm going to run this in that bottom corner and tuck it underneath the photo. And I was just looking, do I want it to run right off the edge, or I think what I'll do is I'll leave a little bit of a frame here. I'm conscious now that I've lost the word leaves, which was a little bit important to the story, so I might add that in here. Or I could just pull up this last bit of tape and run the word leaves over the top. I'll try that. And that's not ideal. Okay, the answer to that is no, because it's just tearing the paper. So I can try to peel it off here in the middle. See if I have any better luck, because this bit is covered up, so it doesn't matter if it's a bit problematic underneath. Okay. Try this again with more adhesive. And then I'll run leaves over the top. I think that will work once I've got everything else in place. I can add in that leaf. I think it needs to come up a bit more so that I have room for the label too. And some pop dots for the label. Then I'll grab a brown pen, I think, to do the journaling. I think this is the right place for that smile label sticker to go. It's going to run off the bottom edge, but I still think it'll be legible, and it just makes a nice match to what's there at the top. So I'd also like to pull up something to match this up to here. So I have those little labels that I punched there, and I think maybe just a little heart punched from the blue might be enough to bring that color up there. Got a teeny tiny little heart punch. And just ink the edge for a tiny bit of definition. And I think I can fit a tiny little pop dot behind there. No, I need to cut it in half. Maybe I'll live with that popped for a second, and if it doesn't want to sit properly, then I'll take the pop dot off and adhere it flat. And I think I'm ready to think about a title at this point. And then I know for smaller embellishments, I have these the stickers and these rub-ons. So I think both of those will work well here to scatter about in these two little spots, but I want to get the title on before I run out of room for my embellishment. This kit also included these sentiment strips. I think this was in the 12 by 12 kit, and they're perforated, so in theory I can just crease and tear them. So I'm going to try a couple of the more autumn-themed phrases. Yeah, seems to work. I think you'd probably get a better end result if you just tore all the strips at the beginning, but then I would never be able to go through them all and figure out what I wanted to use, so I think I'll compromise. I think maybe one for the top and one for the bottom, since I seem to have two groupings of embellishments. Yeah, just go with this one at the very bottom. There we go. Try it just overlapping that on that bottom edge of the watercolor paper. And then this one, I think I'd quite like tucked under that descending A. I'm going to cut off just a little angle at the corner so it fits underneath there and doesn't show on the other side. Theory. Yeah, I like how those have quite a soft edge. I do often get a little annoyed when things have perforation, and then I like the one that's at the bottom because now it has perforation on the top and it's straight on the bottom. But I'll try not to worry about it too much. I had some more wood veneer hearts, so I think I can pop those into the mix here. I think this solid one up at the top, and then the larger outline down at the bottom of the page. I'm going to take this little heart off here for a moment. And just move it down there. I think that's a better balance. And then seeing where this might fit best. And I think I actually like it up on the photo. I'm not hugely keen on how this overlaps with part of the pinked circle behind, so I'd rather pop it somewhere like, yeah, I like here where the entirety of the inside of the heart is filled with that one leaf. It just makes it a little bit easier to see things, I think. And then I have the rub-ons and these little copper-colored rub-ons and the little stickers. I think this leaf has kind of got lost here and it's all on its own, so maybe I can use these two smaller embellishments to kind of bring it back in the game, as it were. Not sure how well that's going to show if I put it over the top of the photo, but I like the idea of it being tucked behind there. It's quite subtle, but I think I'll go ahead and risk it. Just need something to put the rub-ons down with. Yeah, I think you definitely have to look for it, but it's nice, the tone on tone, so don't regret that little risk there. Maybe bring in these little leaves with that wood veneer heart. I can go over the edge here so that they're mostly on the photo, but they'll also show up a little bit on that journaling card. There we go. And something up here at the top. Maybe just one of these little lines, because I think some of the other elements are a bit too different. I think maybe if I cut this in half and go underneath that label. And since I have these two hearts quite near each other, I think one of the copper hearts to finish that little grouping. Give it a bit of balance too. I know that's mixing the copper and the gold there at the top of the page, but I think that works with autumn, and since those two colors really, if you take the metallic out, they're certainly happening in nature. You get all those shades in the leaves. So I think you can mix those metallics for something like that. And then let's see if some of these could just finish everything. Two there is just too much. So this feels like it needs just a little bit of something where these two areas have a little bit more, and this one just feels like it's lacking a tiny bit. Maybe my tiny little heart punch is what needs to come out here as well. So let's try another tiny little heart, and I have another of those little tiny labels too. So maybe that will do it. There's quite a bit on there now. And now my heart is stuck in my punch. This makes for riveting viewing. I think what might be a good balance here is my tiny little label that I have left and another tiny little heart. I was thinking maybe, I know, I just keep thinking more. Okay. I think just a partial one of these. Not the whole thing, just a few words. Some of them have multiple phrases across, so that should work. So let's try this one. And I think, yeah, I think I'm going to be happy now. I'm going to tuck this right underneath the label. And absolutely finishing touch, I'm going to add some gold. Okay, so gold, color shine, up here, down here, a little tiny bit there, done. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love for you to stop by Shimelle.com to see this layout and more, or to go ahead and subscribe here on YouTube if that's where you're watching. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.